The year is 1938, and in the events of World War II, two German scientists by the names of Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann discover the possibility of nuclear fission. Being such a revolutionary discovery, the Germans tried to hide it, but to no avail. This information landed in the hands of Albert Einstein through his various accomplices. Furthermore, Albert Einstein writes a letter to President Roosevelt revealing the Germans' discovery. In response, the Uranium Committee was formed to determine the possibility of a nuclear reaction. The initial research was slow, but in the spring of 1941, the British equivalent to the Uranium Committee affirmed the possibility of an atomic bomb, and that the cooperation of the United States was crucial during this time. Under the Office of Scientific Research and Development, a new committee was formed to focus primarily on the atomic research. With this committee formed, the project was underway, but it was eventually clear that the committee was not equipped with the resources for full-scale construction. With this information known, they opted to turn future research toward the military for advanced support and funding. The approval of this advanced support by President Roosevelt put into motion the start of something revolutionary: the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project was a frontier to the United States through its technological, scientific, and mainly combative discoveries. With its official start in 1942, scientists were swift and ambitious with the dawn of something great. Chosen by Colonel Leslie Groves, the three locations that facilitated this project in the United States included Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Hanford, Washington, and Los Alamos, New Mexico. The facility in Oak Ridge was the home of 4 different production plants, producing gaseous diffusion, pile, centrifuge, and electromagnetic research and manufacturing. The facility in Hanford harbored the enrichment of uranium, as well as the production of plutonium for the core. Finally, the main facility, Los Alamos, was the brains of the operation. They housed the weapons design and main research facilities throughout the whole project. Each site was specifically chosen by its geographic location and secretism they provide. These sites harbor the frontier of groundbreaking nuclear research and production, literally, that is still the basis of information known today. Early into the project's beginnings, England and the United States officially signed the Quebec Agreement, stating that England would support their research through funding and scientists, while the U.S. mainly occupied its creation. This agreement also stated the peace between the two countries regarding nuclear warfare. Their scientific support helped boost the efficiency of their research and ultimately lead to their swift completion. Scientists' motivation and morale became apparently low throughout the entire project. Even through these challenges, though, scientists still persevered to complete the bomb. One scientist, James Chadwick, was reported saying that he realized then that the nuclear bomb was not only possible, but inevitable. And I had then started taking sleeping pills. It was the only remedy. I've never stopped taking them since. This quote shows the harsh reality that these scientists had to live through, knowing what their creation would not only do to the US, but the entire world. Despite scientists' lack of motivation, their project was going in a positive direction with fast progress. On December 2nd of 1942, scientists were able to create the first ever self-sustaining nuclear reaction. This reaction, only big enough to power a light bulb, was a revolutionary discovery and provided the basis of nuclear reactors throughout the rest of the project. After this discovery, the scientific implications of the project moved toward the technicalities and scientific research to finish the project. They were eventually able to identify 2 different types of bombs, plutonium and uranium. They created the first 2 bombs named Little Boy, uranium-based, and Fat Man, plutonium-based.
In 1945, the project was finally complete, and 210 miles away from Los Alamos facility held the test site for the gadget. Nicknamed the Trinity Test, the first explosion of the plutonium-based bomb was earth-shattering. Equaling 21 kilotons of TNT, the scene shocked scientists and left them in disbelief at the horrors they created. The test was originally supposed to be equal to 0.3 kilos of TNT, but the exceeded expectations of over 21 kilos blinded those from over 10,000 feet away. completely disintegrated the 100-foot tower it was dropped off of. This resulted in Oppenheimer's famous quote, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." Oppenheimer knew the destructive power the bomb would bring and how it would impact the world for generations to come. Similarly, reactions were held throughout the scientists. A few people laughed, a few people cried, and most were silent. Comment Oppenheimer regarding his fellow scientists, witnessing the destructive power of the creation firsthand. Seeing this for the first time had obvious negative impact to the creators, knowing they created something that could kill millions in an instant. Following these events, President Harry Truman received word of the success of this project. With this information, President Truman warned the Japanese officials, who decided to ignore his information. This resulted in the devastating effects of Hiroshima and the swift conclusion to World War II. With this event, United States was placed in the position of global power, pushing humanity into the new atomic age that has impacted the nature of global warfare for generations. This event created a new frontier not only for the U.S., but the entire world in nuclear weaponry and advancements. Hiroshima's devastating events proved the success of the Manhattan Project firsthand. Over 135,000 people died in Hiroshima, unaccounting for the devastating effects of radiation that surged through the people that managed to survive. The Manhattan Project may have been a success, but it was a horribly devastating weapon that created such mass destruction people avoid it at all costs in today's world. It was able to end one of the most brutal wars in history, but at the cost of exposing mankind to potentially world-ending technology that is to be feared even to this day. The frontier it enacted pushed humanity into a new age of technological warfare, as well as radioactive discovery. This very same technology was the premise of the Cold War, sparking a nuclear arms race between the involving countries. Leaders were in the position that whoever had the most effective and vast nuclear weaponry would come out on top, showing countries' need for power through the frontier of nuclear technology and its advancements. The creation of the atomic bomb issued a new frontier in humanity's need for power and the ever-growing damage these weapons can cause on entire countries. We see this frontier in our everyday lives, with countries' conflicts resulting in nuclear tensions and anxious civilians, knowing their lives could be destroyed in the blink of an eye with practically nothing they could do about it. This creation, although impactful, was entirely bad for humanity in its years to come. The Manhattan Project showed the world what devastation could be done when brilliant minds come together with ambitious thoughts.